Hey entrepreneurs, it's AJ and welcome back to Business as Unusual, practical motivation during uncertain times. Today's topic is how to navigate a crisis. Because that's where we're in. We're still in a crisis. And I know different places around the world are handling it differently. It's exactly the same crisis, but we're all at different stages of it. And here in Australia, we're about to throw open the doors and ease off restrictions on a national level. And again, states in Australia sort of releasing things differently and everyone's going according to their own timelines. So yeah, we're all at different places and stages of this exact same crisis. And so I wanted to share with you a little bit about something that's really helped me navigate the crisis so far. And that's my perspective. So collectively, it's called the entrepreneurial mind, entrepreneurial thinking and all that. But there's an entrepreneurial principle that I've been applying throughout this crisis that has given me, well, an alternative view to the doom and gloom out there. Okay, so I want to share that with you. And it's basically the two lens perspective, the microscope and the telescope. So let's go in a little bit deeper and explore that. First of all, the microscope. So as soon as this crisis hits, it's a whole bunch of negativity floating around the place. And if you've heard my backstory about how I started and grew my career, it's all about turning negativity around me and into opportunity. So one of the ways I do that is I get laser focused and I pull out a microscope. Not literally, I'm metaphorically, I get really laser focused on what I'm doing, what's right in front of me right now. It doesn't matter that the whole world is collapsing around me. That's okay. It can go ahead and collapse because I'm so focused on what I can control. And I'm ruthless about that. And you get you sort of have to lock down your whole mindset and just really be ruthless about the information you take in, the people you hang out with, because what you're trying to do is combat negativity out there. So even when, this crisis started and it hit us here in Australia, I'm getting messages from fellow colleagues in the speaking industry saying, oh, my business is dead, and I don't know what to do. This is really bad, and I feel for those people because that is genuinely true. Like those people, they've lost so much business and they're great people too. And I genuinely feel sorry for them, but their truth is not mine. So again, have to stay focused and really, and one of the things that got me through all of that is something that I learned very earlier on in my career, which was no matter what is happening in the world or the economy, somewhere, somehow, someone is always making money. So why can't that be me? And I didn't have the answers back then, and I don't have the answers now, but it's that hunger for thirst and knowledge to find out the answers that I don't have at the moment. So that's what took me through business for over, 15 years maybe? Yeah, so it's carried me through business, that alternative perspective, right? So you get laser focused and really trying to concentrate on what you have control over. So again, you manage all the negativity around you. So important, okay? So that's the first thing. Now, the flip side of that is that if you're constantly focused on what's right in front of you, you're going to miss out on what's happening elsewhere. Right? And I know that sounds contradictory, but here's the thing. You get to a point where you need to pull out the other lens, which is the telescope. And you need to have a quick look around and see basically what's happening. But you cannot let it get to you. And this is one of those rare moments of being an entrepreneur. And we practice this thing called cognitive dissonance, which is holding two competing thoughts in our mind at the one point in time. So again, you have to be laser focused and ignore everything around you, but you also have to look around everything around you to see what's going on. And the way you manage those two lenses is that you practice it and you become more skilled as an entrepreneur. As you become more skilled, you learn to flip between those two lenses instinctively. So again, microscope, laser focus, telescope, what's happening around, back to microscope, back to telescope, and you have a look. And the reason why you use two lenses is, so bit of a confession. Over the last few weeks, I've seen things opened up here in Australia. Restrictions are easing off. And I'm having conversations with people around the world. So people in Europe, people in America, people in Southeast Asia. And I am deeply, deeply worried for Australia. Because even though we're easing off restrictions, our culture does not support that basic level of human safety. We have a blatant disregard for the rules and regulations. It's just culturally, it's been such a good run. We have never gone through a crisis like this on this scale before. And, for a very long time, Australia's been the lucky country. She'll be right, mate. And she's not going to be right. She really is not going to be right. And the reason I say this was while we're easing off restrictions and we're meant to be maintaining social distancing, I have a look around and I don't see any evidence of that. I really don't. People are hanging out because we're driven by, we're wired up differently. If I'm honest, we're just wired up differently. And, when the crisis was on the media and people were saying, look, these are the deaths, these are the hospital cases, stay at home. People were like, oh God, they followed the rules because they were scared. And the minute the media stopped saying that and say, oh, we're on the road to recovery, people are like, well, it's fine. We're not worried about it. And so I go to shopping centers, there's no diligence out there. These little tiny signals that say, look, it's going to be all right. It's just a virus. I'm not sick. You're not sick, right? It'll be fine. But you have a look overseas, what's happening in Southeast Asia. My friend was telling me he's got temperature checks whenever he goes into a building and they check his temperature 5 times throughout a single day. Yeah, that's invasive or whatever, but it's all in the name of preserving life, preserving health. And you have a look at the images coming out of Australia and you just see, and that's because everyone's sort of like going, the crisis is over. Well, that wasn't too bad. Ran out of toilet paper, ran out of pasta, but now we're all okay. No, we're not. We still have the second wave and it's going to hit us really bad. Plus, we're about to go into winter. So we've got a whole bunch of other viruses coming, So it's that thing about the telescope, you have to stay focused what's right in front of you, but you also have to look at what's ahead. And the second wave is going to hit Australia quite bad. And I just don't see any way around it based on what we're doing today. So again, you got to have that microscope, telescope perspective. And I'm not sorry if I scared some of you because this is how it's going to turn out, So if you've been watching this series and listening to anything that I've been saying, it's really about developing your entrepreneurial mind and helping you navigate this crisis by switching your lenses, using a whole bunch of other principles, and just really sort of standing out from the crowd, standing out from the status quo, because we have not seen the end of this beast. We really haven't. And the smart people out there, they know it. So please encourage those around you to be extra careful and maintain physical distancing, because I think social distancing was a bad choice of marketing words. But yeah, just stay safe. All right, I cannot leave you with that bombshell. I want to give you something that you can go and use and implement and really navigate this crisis. So today I was listening to an amazing podcast by Dr. Michael Gervais. It might be related to Ricky, I don't know, right? But Dr. Michael Gervais is a peak performance psychologist. He's worked with some of the best talent on the planet, athletes, fighter pilots, a whole bunch of business people. He's phenomenal. And he's got a podcast called Finding Mastery. And I listened to an episode today, which was basically about how to navigate this crisis. And so I'll link into the episode down below and go have a listen to it, because he interviews some amazing people, world-class leaders. He's got Deepak Chopra on there. He's got a leader of a fighter pilot squadron on there. Just a whole bunch of amazing people. And they all share their perspective of what they did during this crisis to navigate it. And we all say these similar things, but in different ways. And sometimes you need to hear a point in a different way to take it on board. So go check out that podcast, Finding Mastery. Link is below in the episode, and follow whatever Michael's doing, because it'll help take your thinking to new levels. All right, entrepreneurs, that's me done. Whatever happens in business and in life, I wish you nothing but success. My name's AJ Kulatunga. Thanks for watching this video, and I look forward to serving you on the next episode of Business as Unusual. Take care.